Russia struck Ukraine with over 200 drones and missiles, targeting primarily its energy and railway infrastructure. The wave of attacks come 3 weeks after Ukraine started an incursion into Russia's Kursk region. A missile hitting a reservoir in Vyshhorod near the Ukrainian capital Kyiv. Aftermath of Russian missile strikes in Ukraine's Dnipro and southern Zaporizhzhia regions. Russia targeted Ukraine with more than 100 missiles and as many drones on Monday. The missile and drone salvo was Russia's most intense in weeks, leading to civilian deaths and striking energy facilities in Ukraine.
It was one of the biggest combined strike, more than 100 missiles of various type and about 100 Shahed drones, and like most previous Russian strike, this is just a sneaky targeting critical civilian infrastructure in majority of our regions in Kharkiv and Kyiv region.
Thousands of Kyiv residents flocked to metro stations to take cover. Zelensky also called on allies to stick to agreements to supply air defense systems and missiles. He also said that Ukraine and partners should make a joint air defense agreement to shoot down Russian drones and missiles. Russia too reported a drone attack on Ukraine. A video on social media showed damage to buildings in Russia's Saratov region. Russian officials said a woman was wounded and homes were damaged as a result of Ukraine's drone attack. Amid the escalation, Russia said the issue of negotiations has lost relevance.
There were no negotiations. As you know, the topic of negotiations at the moment has pretty much lost its relevance. There are a lot of reports about various contacts in the media, and not all of them are correct.
Meanwhile, Russia pummeled Ukrainian forces along the front in the Kursk region of western Russia. Russia is hitting back after Ukraine carved out a slice of its territory in Kursk after smashing through the western Russian border 20 days ago. Bureau Report, DD India. And Dasha Chernyshova now joins us live from Moscow. Dasha, while we are seeing a wave of missile and drone attacks by Russia into Ukraine, now the IAEA DG will lead a mission to inspect the Kursk nuclear power plant in Russia on Tuesday. Are there serious concerns that this site could be endangered amid the hostilities?
That's right. The Russian Federation has been calling for the IAEA specialists to come and assess the situation on the ground when it comes to the Kursk region and the city of Kurchatov, where the Kursk nuclear power plant is located. But Russia has been repeatedly accusing Ukraine of carrying out what Moscow calls nuclear terrorism, with President Vladimir Putin repeatedly saying that there have been drone attacks by the Ukrainian side against the nuclear facilities in the Kursk region, as well as in the Zaporizhzhia region, where the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant is located. So indeed, there are many concerns. Most recently, there were the debris of the Ukrainian drone found near the spent fuel facility on the territory of the Kursk nuclear power plant, and several bridges have been destroyed over the river of Seym. So the understanding is that the IAEA group is there to assess the situation and to provide their conclusion as to the safety of the facility and how the Ukrainian side, well, at least in Russia's perspective, is operating there. However, Ukraine has been accusing Moscow of similar actions when it comes to the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant.
Dasha, also Poland says that a drone likely entered its airspace during the Russian attack on Ukraine. Have Polish authorities taken it up with Moscow?
Well, we understand that to this moment it is the word likely that is defining this whole situation, with 100 of Polish soldiers charged and tasked with finding the debris of that possibly drone. So it is yet to be established. Meanwhile, we understand that Poland has been on high alert ever since 2022, when the debris from the Ukrainian air defense system have crossed into the Polish territory, as they were active because of the Russian strikes against the Ukrainian military infrastructure. So we're yet to see how Poland will be reacting to that or bringing it up with Russia.
Also, Dasha, Russia has skipped a meeting of UNSC member countries in Geneva. Is the gap only widening between Russia and the West with the scope of finding any common ground diplomatically?
Well, we understand that Moscow wants to maintain the channels of communication with the West, but it constantly says that the Western countries have to take into account Russia's concerns. When it comes to this particular trip of the UN Security Council members to Geneva, the Deputy Permanent Representative of Russia to the United Nations, Dmitry Polyansky, was quoted as saying that this trip does look inappropriate, in his words, against the backdrop of the ongoing global events. He said that there are more important things to do, and this was the initiative of the permanent representatives that he said decided to spend good time in Geneva. Meanwhile, he said there are many hotbeds internationally that deserve the attention. So for Moscow, it is just the matter of being inappropriate at this moment when it comes to this meeting.
Leave it at that. Dasha Chernyshova reporting from Moscow.